Ever wonder why some people seem to have a knack for managing money, while others struggle to keep their heads above water? Well, much of it comes down to financial literacy. It's a skill not taught in most schools, yet it's crucial to navigating life's financial waters. Unfortunately, the lack of this knowledge often leads to common financial mistakes that can have serious consequences. Picture this. You're sailing through life, but the lack of a financial compass leaves you vulnerable to hidden reefs. These are the financial pitfalls that can sink your ship if you're not careful. They're the unseen dangers like living without a budget, not having an emergency fund, ignoring retirement savings, and relying too heavily on credit. Our journey today is about charting a course around these common financial mistakes. We'll dive deep into each one, helping you navigate safely and confidently. So buckle up as we set sail on this financial voyage. Stay tuned to learn about these common financial blunders and how to avoid them. First on our list is living without a budget. Imagine setting off on a road trip with no map, no GPS, and no idea where you're going. You might end up somewhere fun, or you might end up lost. That's what it's like to navigate your finances without a budget. It's a financial roadmap that gives you direction and helps you to avoid the pitfalls of overspending and debt. Without a budget, you're sailing blind in the sea of personal finance. You might feel free, but you're at the mercy of the winds of fortune. It's easy to lose track of your income and expenditure, and before you know it, you're sinking deeper into financial quicksand. Your money seems to disappear as if by magic, and you find yourself wondering where it all went at the end of the month. Overspending is one of the major consequences of living without a budget. Without a clear plan, every purchase seems reasonable and every expense seems necessary. But these small, unplanned purchases add up, and they can lead to a significant amount of debt over time. But don't worry, there's a solution. Creating a simple budget doesn't need to be a daunting task. It's about understanding your income and expenses and making a plan to balance the two. Start by listing your income and all your expenses. Then categorize your expenses into needs, wants, and savings. This will give you a clear picture of where your money is going and where you can make adjustments. You can get as simple or sophisticated as you like. You can use a pen and paper or a budgeting app like Rocket Money or Dave Ramsey's everydollar.com. Sticking to your budget is the next step. It requires discipline, but it's not impossible. Just remember that it's okay to make adjustments as you go along. Your budget is not set in stone. It's a living document that changes as your life changes. A budget is not a shackle that limits your freedom. It's a tool that gives you control over your money. It helps you to make informed decisions about your spending, save for your future, and achieve your financial goals. Remember, a budget is not a constraint but a tool for financial freedom. Moving on to the next common mistake, not having an emergency fund. Picture this. You're cruising along the highway of life when suddenly your metaphorical car breaks down. This could be an unexpected medical expense, a job loss, or a major home repair. Without an emergency fund, these sudden expenses are like roadblocks, causing stress and potentially leading you into the territory of debt. An emergency fund is your financial buffer, your shock absorber against life's unexpected bumps. It's the money you set aside specifically for these unforeseen events, preventing you from dipping into your savings or resorting to high-interest credit cards or loans. Not having an emergency fund is like driving without a spare tire. Sure, you might not need it right now, but when you do, you'll be glad it's there. Without it, you're left stranded on the side of the road, waiting for a tow truck that comes with a hefty bill. So, how do you start an emergency fund? It's simpler than you might think. Start by setting a goal. Financial experts often recommend saving 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, but don't let that number intimidate you. If that seems out of reach, start small. Even a few $100s can make a difference when you're in a pinch. Next, make saving automatic. Set up a regular transfer from your checking account to your emergency fund. Treat it like any other essential bill. And remember, this is not money for vacations or luxury items. This fund is strictly for emergencies. Finally, keep your emergency fund in a separate, easily accessible account. You want to be able to get to your money quickly when you need it, but not so easily that you're tempted to use it for non-emergencies. An emergency fund is like a financial safety net. Always have one in place. Up next, the mistake of ignoring retirement savings. Imagine a future where you're free from the daily grind, with ample time to explore hobbies, travel, or simply enjoy a cup of coffee on a quiet morning. Now imagine that future, but without the financial security to truly enjoy it. That's the reality for many who ignore retirement savings. Retirement savings is the nest egg that ensures your golden years are truly golden. Ignoring it is like setting off on an epic cross-country road trip without a map or a full tank of gas. You might enjoy the ride for a while, but sooner or later you're going to find yourself stranded. Now you might think, I'm young. I have plenty of time to start saving for retirement. Or perhaps, I don't earn enough to set aside money for retirement. Here's the thing, it's never too early, and you're never too broke to start saving for retirement. Let's start with the age factor. The power of compound interest means that the earlier you start saving, the more your money grows. Think of it as a snowball effect. The longer your money rolls down the hill, the bigger it gets. As for income, it's not about how much you earn, but how wisely you save and invest. Even small, consistent contributions to a retirement fund can add up over time. If your employer offers a 401k match, that's free money you're leaving on the table if you don't contribute. Retirement savings isn't just about stashing money away, it's also about investing in your future lifestyle. Do you dream of traveling the world, spending quality time with your grandchildren, pursuing a passion project? Your retirement savings can help make those dreams a reality. No one wants to reach their sunset years only to realize they can't afford to stop working. So start saving now, invest wisely, and make the most of employer-matched retirement plans. You're not just saving money, you're investing in your future self. Think of retirement savings as paying your future self. Last but not least, the mistake of relying on credit. Now, we all know the convenience that credit cards and loans bring. They're like magic wands that we can wave to make purchases, big or small. But here's the catch. Every time we wave that wand, we're not creating money, we're creating debt. When we rely on credit for everyday expenses, we're essentially living on borrowed money. It's like digging a hole. The more we use credit, the deeper the hole gets. And the deeper the hole, the harder it is to climb out. This is the cycle of debt, and it's a dangerous pitfall many of us fall into. The key is to live within our means. It's a simple concept, but it's easier said than done. It means that if we don't have the cash for something, we don't buy it. It means resisting the allure of instant gratification and focusing on our long-term financial health. But let's be clear, credit isn't evil. In fact, when used wisely, credit can be a powerful tool in managing our finances. It can help us build a good credit score, which is crucial for things like buying a house or a car. So, how do we use credit wisely? First, limit credit card use to necessary expenses or purchases that you can pay off in full each month. This not only helps keep debt in check, but also builds a good credit history. Second, always pay more than the minimum amount due on your credit card bills. Paying only the minimum is a surefire way to remain in debt for a very long time. Lastly, if you find yourself in a substantial amount of debt, don't panic. There are ways to reduce it. Consider speaking to a financial advisor, consolidating your debts, or negotiating lower interest rates with your creditors. Remember, the goal is not to avoid credit completely, but to use it responsibly. Because at the end of the day, credit is a tool, not a crutch. Let's quickly recap what we've learned today. We dove into some big financial pitfalls that can trip us up on our path to financial stability and success. We started by looking at the dangers of living without a budget, realizing that this lack of control can lead to overspending and financial stress. We then explored the importance of having an emergency fund. Without this safety net, sudden expenses can derail our financial plans and leave us in debt. Next, we discussed the peril of ignoring retirement savings. We learned that starting early and contributing regularly can make a huge difference in our golden years. Lastly, we discovered the risks of relying too much on credit. While credit can be a useful tool, it can also lead to a cycle of debt, if not used responsibly. Avoiding these common financial mistakes can set you on the path to financial success. Thanks for watching, and remember to stay financially savvy.